What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. You know who it is by now.
Jimothy.
So, ladies and gents, after some thought and deliberation, I realized I haven't done a profile on Plunder Patrols in a while, especially since we've had support in the form of Black Eyes. Now, I am actually going to start a new series on a channel called Board Breakers, and it's probably going to feature Plunder Patrols as the starting entry in that series. So definitely keep it locked to the channel for that. And if you are new here, you know what to do by now. Hit that subscribe button. Okay, so onto the list, ladies and gents. We are running the usual standard, pretty much well known on the channel now, the triple white beard. We're also running the triple red beard, the triple golden hair, as well as the triple blue beard, and our newest edition, which is triple black eyes, the Plunder Patrol Sea Guide. Now, Black Eyes is actually a fantastic addition, and it kind of makes me think about what the next support is going to be looking like, because it allows some recursion, it special summons itself, it does Xeno lock you into Plunder Patrols, which most of them do once you activate their effects, which are pretty powerful. But just being able to recycle a monster can sometimes lead to you being able to play on your opponent's turn, because when I first started playing a deck, I used to burn for a lot of my resources, and you need you definitely need Plunder Patrol cards in hand to be able to discard for your ship's effects. So being able to just recur maybe one or even two monsters from your graveyard back into your hand over a couple of turns is definitely something that I do value in Plunder Patrol right about now. And especially if you just got one card in hand and you're able to either negate, banish, or what have you on your opponent's turn, you can still plus off that, because most of the ships have an effect to then add either a spell, monster, or a trap, or a card basically from your deck to your hand to be able to keep fueling your ship's effects, which is something that is super duper useful. So Black Eyes is a fantastic addition. I'm so frustrated with the fact that we're still waiting on some more monsters to make this deck completely viable, because like I mentioned previously in some of my previous profiles, there are some matchups where this deck struggles, and I'm talking about like Zodiacs, anything that has Earths or Winds, for example. I can imagine the new Flunderies, this deck won't have a chance against them, just because they won't have the viable targets either on field or in the graveyard. And the way that Flunderies work at the moment, they banish a lot of their cards, so you basically just can't play the deck, which is a little bit frustrating. So it is what it is. But definitely looking forward to some more support, and hopefully some support that comes pretty quickly, because I feel like this deck's been out for a while now and it's still yet to be complete. But we shall see what Konami doing with it. Now, another card that I've decided to continue to main deck is Triple Radiant, the multi-dimensional kaiju, simply because it's a dark. Give it to my opponent, be able to go into my Moek, and then obviously banish it off field, because it is a little bit of a threat, and without the field spell it can be a little bit difficult to get over. But definitely a nice card, just a bit of removal as well as being able to play with the correct attributes. So Triple Radiant. And then also for the hand traps, we're running double Ash Blossom as well as double Nibiru. Now, Nibiru in this deck is quite interesting. The more I play the deck, the more I get used to basically using it. So with Nibiru, if you manage to go into Dragite turn 1 and Dragite survives, you can actually activate Dragite's effect to dig for a rock basically, and that allows you to bounce one card on field. Now obviously if you reveal two Nibirus, you can potentially bounce upwards of 2 cards, non-targeting removal, which is absolutely fantastic. It does require your Dragite to survive and not have its effects negated, but nevertheless it's still an option. And if you do make it turn going second, for example, it's a nice easy removal, especially if your opponent's under like Dark Ruler no more or something like that. So double Nibiru, the primal being, as well as double Ash Blossom, easy side out targets as well, so is what it is. Right, onto the spells, and we are playing 4 copies of Plunder Patrol Shipyard. Fantastic card, searches your whole deck, gets exactly what you need by being able to set up your graveyard and proc your Plunder Patrol effects, especially if you're pitching a white off to get a search. Is crazy. We're also running Triple Emblem of the Plunder Patrol. This allows you to play essentially, and you can actually equip it just to prevent targeting. Now I will say that Infinite Impermanence and Effect Veiler are something that are pretty common nowadays, that I'm starting to see a lot more of in the meta basically, especially with Tri Brigades running around. You are going to be seeing a lot of targeted negation, and especially in a much more of a slower format, it's kind of essential with a lot more trap cards being played. So yeah. Also running the Soul Ship Shape Shipping. I actually got the second one in the side deck. This card is actually useful. You do need this mainly because you do want to basically summon each of your Plunder Patrol extra deck monsters correctly once each, just so you can have your booty to be live and be able to proc their effects on your opponent's turn. So definitely bumping this up to 2 would not be a bad idea, but I'm still messing around with the ratios. And again, with the new way that I'm trying to play this deck, 1 seems to be working out fine, especially searching it off your field spell. Next up, another addition to the deck is Triple Dark Ruler No More. Yes, ladies and gents, going second now, especially with this card in the deck, is not so much of an issue, especially if you've got attributes on field that you can work with. Now, potentially, you're going to be seeing a lot of Dragoon, which seems to be everywhere in the meta, as well as a few other cards. Dark Ruler No More just says hello and goodbye to any kind of interaction from your opponent's board in terms of monsters. So nice little introduction into the deck, and I'm actually main decking it. Probably won't take it out unless I know I'm going first. Still running the 2 salvage. Again, this is just free recursion, as well as Black Eyes. You can keep your hand loaded with Plunder Patrol monsters to be able to proc your ship's effect, as well as get their effects off themselves. So double salvage. Also, for a bit of a draw engine, we are running the 1 Upstart and the double Desires. I do not like running 3 Desires. I've got a virtual deck that I'm still messing around with, and I ran 3 Desires in it, and I've seen Desires so many times off Desires, it was just crazy. So I said, you know what, no more. So I'm just going to run the Upstart as the 3rd pseudo Desires basically. But Desires isn't bad in this deck, especially as you play so many 3-ofs. You can get your effects off pretty easily. Right, next for the power 1-offs, Monster Reborn, Called by the Grave, and Harpy's Feather Duster. You can also side it into more back row removal. Twin Twisters actually works really well in this deck because you discard for cost, but if you know a lot of the Plunder Patrol monsters, if they hit the graveyard from hand, regardless if it's cost or effect, they get to proc their effects anyway. So nice little inclusion into the deck. And then for the 3 lone traps that we're playing, we have got the Plunder Patrol Booty. Again, another 3-of, mainly because of Desires, but I probably would still run 3 even without Desires because this card's that good. This is the reason why you want to summon one of your ships correctly at least once each to be able to get it back out of the graveyard to hit the field via this card, and then being able to play on your opponent's turn. It's just, it's beautiful. So triple Booty. Onto the extra deck. The extra deck hasn't changed much. I have got a 3rd Blackbeard in the side, but I'm still running the 2 Blackbeard and the 1 Salamangreat Almirage just for the golden hair setup, which is nice. As for the synchros, we're running double brand. This card is beautiful. This card is the reason why you OTK. This, along with the field spell, just makes every monster that you control just an absolute powerhouse. Also running the Dragite, I've already spoke about him. I'm not taking him out of the deck, he's that useful, so yeah. 1 White Aura Whale and 1 Geomath Mech Final Sigma. White Aura Whale, yes, it is needed. Sigma is a little bit of a flex spot. You tend to go into him if your White Aura Whale survives a turn and you're able to get another Plunder Patrol monster on the field. Specifically, you can go into, because it's obviously it's a 12, but White Aura Rail is a nice way to kind of like get an easy board wipe, especially if you've Dark Ruled your opponent. You can basically just wipe all their attack position monsters with summoning White Aura Whale and chain blocking with either Whitebeard or even Redbeard, depending on your setup. So yeah. As for the XYZs, we're running the double Moak. This is your main form of removal and interaction. Targeted banish, and if you summon it correctly, it can protect one of your, it can protect your monsters as well as itself. As well as all your Plunder Patrol cards, basically, just by detaching the material. So fantastic card all around. Don't be fooled by the 1000 attack, because with the field spell and with Brand on field, these ships get massive. I'm talking huge. We're also playing 1 Dweller, 1 Bahamut Shark, and 1 Totally Awesome. You all know what these guys do by now. Dweller's nice because you can make it with 2 waters. It gets a 500 attack boost, so it's a little bit harder to just beat over and it just locks your opponent's graveyard. Nice and simple. And then finally for our fusions, we're running double Plunder Patrol ship lists. Again, you need to make at least one of these correctly, mainly because you can blow through these. This is your monster negation. You blow through them pretty quickly, so you definitely want to just make sure that you can get one of them back out with booty to be able to obviously utilize its effect. And that is it, ladies and gents. Plunder Patrol in a nutshell. Like I said previously, I just wish Konami would bring out the support for it a little bit more consistently, or a little bit more quickly, basically, because we're still waiting to play this deck to its fullest potential, basically, and its fullest capacity. And at the moment, it's kind of like a shell of what it could be, mainly because of the attributes that you're having to work with. But it is what it is for now, but I can see that the support coming out, hopefully, and it should push the deck to the next level. But anyway, ladies and gents, we find ourselves at the end of another video. As always, if you do like this content, you know what to do by now. Hit that like button, share, subscribe, all of that beautiful good stuff, and I will definitely see you guys on the next video. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.